What if we gathered every single atom of uranium-235 on Earth and detonated it all at once in the deepest part of our planet? Would that be enough to blow Earth to smithereens? Now, before you start picturing some Hollywood-style planetary explosion, let me tell you something that might shock you. The Mariana Trench, that supposedly bottomless pit we all learned about in school, is actually just a tiny scratch on Earth's surface. We're talking about 11,034 meters deep on a planet that's 742 kilometers across. That's less than 0.1% of Earth's diameter. If you shrunk our planet down to the size of basketball, the Mariana Trench would be a mere 0.2 millimeter dent. You need a magnifying glass to even notice. Anyone telling you that detonating a nuke in the Mariana Trench would crack the Earth like an egg is selling you a fantasy. But here's where things get interesting. The real question isn't about location, it's about raw power. How much uranium-235 are we actually talking about? Currently, we've discovered about 8.07 million tons of uranium deposits worldwide. But here's the kicker, only 0.7% of that is the fissile uranium-235 we need for nuclear weapons. That gives us roughly 58,000 tons of the stuff. Now here's where physics throws us a curveball. Anyone who's ever built a nuclear device knows that uranium-235 has a critical mass of about 52 kilograms. Go over that limit and boom, it starts a chain reaction all by itself. So you can't just mash all the uranium into one giant super bomb. But wait, it gets even more frustrating. Even in a perfect detonation, most of the uranium doesn't actually undergo fission. When Little Boy visited Hiroshima, it carried 64 kilograms of uranium-235, but only about 1 kilogram actually split apart. The rest got blown away in the initial explosion before it could react. Modern nuclear weapons are more efficient, sure, but even today's best designs only achieve about 20% fission efficiency. Still, let's throw reality out the window for a moment. Let's pretend we've got some alien technology that can make all 58,000 tons of uranium-235 undergo complete fission. How much energy would that release? 1 kilogram of uranium-235 unleashes 8.2 times 10 to the 13th joules when splits completely. Scale that up to 58,000 tons, and you get 4.8 times 10 to the 20th joules. That number probably means nothing to you. So let me put it in perspective. Remember that asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs 65 million years ago? That Chicxulub impact released about 4.2 times 10 to the 23rd joules. Our uranium stockpile would pack the punch of roughly 100 of those dinosaur-killing asteroids. Sounds pretty devastating, right? Well, not really. While that might sterilize all life on Earth, to our planet itself, it would be like setting off 100 firecrackers. Earth would barely notice. This is the problem with human thinking. We always overestimate our own power. We talk about saving the planet, destroying the planet, but the truth is we can't do either. Despite all our technology, despite inventing smartphones and sending rockets to Mars, we're still just tiny specks on a massive rock hurtling through space. But hold on, some of you Sharpie viewers are probably thinking, wait a minute, the question asks about all the uranium-235 on Earth, not just what we've discovered and mined. You're absolutely right, and that's a much bigger number. Uranium is what geologists call a lithophile element, meaning it likes to hang out with rocky materials. Most of it sits in the Earth's crust, with smaller amounts in the mantle and virtually none in the core. The crust contains about 2.5 grams of uranium per ton of rock. The mantle has much less, maybe 0.01 to 0.1 grams per ton. When you average it all out, Earth contains roughly 0.05 grams of uranium per ton of total mass. That gives us approximately 300 trillion tons of uranium total, with uranium-235 making up 0.7% of that. We're looking at 2 trillion tons of uranium-235 that's a serious upgrade from our previous 58,000 tons. Let's wave our magic alien technology wand again and assume we can make all 2 trillion tons undergo complete fission. That would release about 1.6 times 10 to the 29th joules of energy. To put that in perspective, that's equivalent to 380,000 Chicxulub asteroid impacts. 380,000 dinosaur-killing asteroids all hitting at once to this point. Our intuition completely breaks down. We simply can't visualize that kind of destruction. So we need to bring in a new concept, Earth's gravitational binding energy. This is the amount of energy it would take to completely disassemble our planet, to overcome gravity and scatter every atom into space so they never come back together. That number is fixed at 2.24 times 10 to the 32nd joules. When we compare our 380,000 asteroid impacts to Earth's binding energy, we find that all that uranium would only provide about 0.07% of the energy needed to actually destroy the planet. Not even close. Oh, there you have it. Even if we could somehow gather every atom of uranium-235 on Earth and detonate it with perfect efficiency, we wouldn't even scratch the surface of what it takes to blow up our planet. Earth is incredibly tough, almost impossibly durable. Anyone who thinks they can destroy it with nuclear weapons simply doesn't understand the scale of what they're dealing with. Our planet has survived asteroid impacts, supervolcanic eruptions, and billions of years of cosmic bombardment. A few nuclear weapons, even all of them combined, are basically cosmic mosquito bites.